Alexander. However, the tribunal can only submit their recommendations to the Homeland Security Minister, Roger Alexander, and they are not binding, which means they can be either accepted or rejected by the minister. All right? The couple lost their bid to secure their freedom on Tuesday before Justice C. Prasad, who rejected their application to be released pending the determination of a judicial review lawsuit over preventive detention orders issued against them days after the arrest on June 24th. And the judge found that the couple's lawyers, led by Senior Counsel Douglas Mendez, failed to prove irregularities in the PDOs issued by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander. All right, C. Prasad also found that while the Hadids claimed that they were never informed that they were being held, the emergency power regulations of the SOE, station diary extracts supplied by the TTPS showed that they were notified of this fact. All right, so we will see where that goes, but I do not see... Well, I mean, I'll ask Gary about that when I talk to him in a little bit, right? About this tribunal. I'll find out about that as well. Okay. Minister dismisses issues raised by Christmas List lawyers. So, well, by now you all know Christmas List has this matter where he has to return to Trinidad and Tobago to face the courts. And what happened is, he had been banned indefinitely from entering Trinidad and Tobago. But earlier on this week, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander removed that, and he said, listen, we're going to allow him to enter the country, of course, to face the court, which is the common sense and the right thing to do, right? So although Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander has agreed to issue a minister's permit allowing Christopher Christmas List Hughes back into Trinidad and Tobago to attend his upcoming trial next month, he has not indicated if he will honor a request to recuse himself from the matter. And, well, remember, this is all based on, remember, Alexander was featured during Christmas List stay here. He was one of the people that Christmas List would have interviewed. So what they're saying is that, you know, the lawyers might call him as a witness, right? So you can take a read in that article there and see how the minister responded. All right? Joshua Samaru's father gets $100,000 bail after a week in custody. So Christopher Samaru, the father of police shooting victim Joshua Samaru, was reunited with his family on Tuesday night after he was granted $100,000 station bail. And emerging into the arms of a relative who arrived to take him home, Samaru remained quiet as he exited the Belmont police station. The senior Samaru was charged with a summary offense under Regulation 11A of the Emergency Powers Regulations, which makes it an offense to attempt whether verbally or by other means, to influence public opinion in a manner that could prejudice public safety. He was released from the Belmont police station around 8:30 p.m., hours after he returned from the Port of Spain General Hospital, where he had been warded for several days after complaining of feeling unwell while in police custody. All right? And of course, he made some seditious statements. Allegedly, he allegedly made some seditious statements on the Eye on Dependency program on Father's Day. I don't even know what program that is anyway. Oh, God, Lord, Father, here I tell you. Continuing, the SWWTU has retained senior counsel for activist Labor Day arrest case. So, Seamen and Waterfront Workers Trade Union President General Michael Anisette says the Labour movement has handed over all relevant information surrounding the arrest and charging of activist Alyssa Phillip on Labour Day to a senior counsel. All right, who will determine the next course of action. And Phillip and her mother, Camille Carrasquero, were arrested during the Labor Day procession in Faizabad on June 19th and later charged with multiple offenses, including resisting arrest and disorderly behavior. And you could read on that in the paper. A Trini man is held fleeing Tobago after a woman's murder. So a South Oropouche man believed to be fleeing after allegedly murdering a woman in Tobago was arrested as he disembarked the ferry in Port of Spain yesterday. MTS worker Nisha Roberts, age 40, was found by a relative around 7 a.m. in a pool of blood near the bathroom of her Mount St. George home, and she had been stabbed to death, and police said the 41-year-old suspect boarded the Galleons Passage, the slowest of the passenger ferries, yesterday morning heading to Trinidad. However, his plans were thwarted by police who were patiently awaiting his arrival after conducting surveillance and making diligent inquiries. He was taken into custody by Homicide Bureau officers without incident. All right? The murder, the seventh on the island this year, has rocked the close-knit community of Mount St. George, leaving villagers in grief and mourning. Suspension leaves vulnerable youth in limbo. Look, I beg to differ. Child and gender specialist Marcus Kissoon is questioning the government's decision to suspend the MILAT program, warning that the move sends the wrong message about the country's commitment to vulnerable young men. The Defense Ministry announced this week that MILAT has been suspended while the government reviews the program's financial viability and considers restructuring options. Defense Minister Wayne Sturge has insisted the initiative has not been cancelled but put on hold until further notice. But Kissoon, who facilitated several training programs at the MILAT campus, argued that the discussion should extend beyond financial considerations to the program's broader role in nation building. Kissoon acknowledged that governments have a responsibility to evaluate public programs, but warned that suspending them often becomes the first step towards permanently shutting them down. Drawing on his own experience working with MILAT trainees, Kissoon said the program offered far more than military discipline. Kissoon conceded that MILAT required stronger monitoring and oversight, including greater involvement from the Ministry of Education and the Children's Authority, but maintained those shortcomings justified reform rather than suspension. All right. Here's the problem. Because although I am not for the shutting down of MILAT, which is not what is taking place right now at this present point in time. What has taken place is the Ministry of Defense, as Sturges said, has simply said, okay, we're going to suspend this program. We're going to do a financial review and look at possibly restructuring the program. He also mentioned that they were in talks with members of the Defense Force. All right. I agree with Kissoon that usually when you hear about suspending a program or even in terms of restructuring, it often leads to a shutdown, which is not what we want to happen. We don't want that to happen. Now, once again, to me, it falls on the Ministry of Defense to communicate properly and put out a proper release on the suspension of MILAT. It can't just be a blanket statement saying, look, we're going to suspend this program pending financial review. Right? Because that now leaves the door open for everybody now to jump out and start talking about you're leaving vulnerable youth in limbo and you're abandoning the youth, like what the opposition leader is saying. To even jump to that conclusion is preposterous, okay, at this stage. If they come in 3 weeks' time and say we're shutting down the program, fine, no problem. You could sing that road march. But at this point in time, there is no reason to sing the road march of you're leaving vulnerable youth in limbo. Vulnerable youths have been in limbo. In case, I don't know if anybody noticed. We have a gang problem. Anybody notice that? And we've had a gang problem despite the MyLad program being around. That program has been around since 2007. Right? So that's, 19 years? Yeah. So it's been around for 19 years. And despite the 19 years of MyLad being around, we have had a consistent gang problem. We've had a problem where at-risk youths keep being attracted to a negative criminal lifestyle. And gang leaders or community leader or whatever you want to call them have a tendency of putting the arm around them in the community and tell them, come, put a gun in their hand and tell them, go and rob, go and kill, go and do whatever. Running somebody's house, home invasion, wherever. Right? And for some reason or the other, they are attracted to that. So, based on that, the conversation around programs for vulnerable youths, which have existed during that period, for some reason or the other, is either not enough, not attractive, it not something. Because obviously, we have a problem where we have a certain portion of the young people gravitating to something else rather than getting involved in these programs. And we need to figure that out. Now, you're never going to capture all of these youths or these young men in these communities. You're not going to capture all of them. So is the program capturing, I don't know, a certain percentage that we could say, okay, we have this program, it is successful, it attracts 200 youths every year, wherever the case might be, and from the program and getting involved in that program, when they leave the program, they have something to go on to. You understand? So, it has to be something that benefits them in the long run, right? So, I'm waiting to see what they're saying, but in terms of just making a statement, okay, if you're going to say we're going to suspend the program, say why. Say, okay, we're looking at the structure of the program. We're looking at the amount of people employed in the program. We're looking at the amount of this. We're looking at the amount of that. Right? Break it down for people so that we could read and properly understand, so that you don't leave the door open for the bacchanal talk to start, if you understand where I'm coming from. And that is where the communication is lacking. Right? So hopefully, by me saying this, the Ministry of Defense will put out a proper statement on the suspension of MyLad, because you just keep opening the door for old talk. You understand? But we need to assess these youth programs, and we need to come to a conclusion as to whether it's getting the job done and moving youths away from the negative lifestyle, and it's attractive enough for them to gravitate towards it. Or we need to come up with some kind of new programs or something. I will see if I could find out how many youth programs exist. Not just MyLad. Everybody just talk about MyLad, like MyLad is the solely and wholly the solution. No, it's not. There are other programs that also existed as well. Right? Or also exist. I'll see if I get a list of those programs and see how many programs we have running that is geared towards at-risk youths and so on and so forth. And then, the next thing too, we have a serious problem where we have people who living in communities, yet they want work, but they're not qualified. They're not qualified. And what do we do with unqualified people? We just give them a tool and tell them go and cut grass. Historically, that is what we have done. You ain't qualified, be a grass cutter. Where is the option of, okay, we have all of these people applying, X amount of people are unqualified and whatever the case might be. Are we going to move towards, okay, you want to get work, you want to get into this program, you want to be employed here in a program that pays a substantial amount of money? When I say now, like how they upgraded the CPEP thing to the upkeep program, which pays $209 a day rather than $79 a day, which is great. So if you want to move towards that and you need some sort of qualification or some skill set, send them to do a quick course on it. You understand what I'm saying? Give them a stipend and then absorb them to some sort of program that could facilitate them and things like that. Because that's the problem, we have people who they're not qualified, they're not educated, they're not, and we just leaving them out there uneducated and unqualified, and we handed them, and historically we have handed them a waka or a shovel and tell them go and dig a hole or go and cut grass. So I think we had to move past that. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just me and my stupid thoughts. I see here TV6 was ordered to pay $350,000 for labeling a customs officer a terrorist. Wow. All they could read about that. Yeah, that's it there. How they could label the man a terrorist or the woman a terrorist? What is going on there? That's all. A television station has been ordered to pay over $350,000 compensation to a customs officer it accused of being a terrorist linked to the Islamic State. The High Court judge ordered the compensation this week as she upheld Clint Rivers' defamation case against One Caribbean Media Limited and investigative journalist Mark Basant. The lawsuit centered around an investigative report from Basant that was aired on OCM's television station CCN TV6 on April 15, 2015. Rivers claimed that the report alleged that he had ties to ISIS and left Trinidad in 2014 to travel to the Middle East to serve as a foreign fighter. All right, you know what? In his lawsuit, Rivers, whose legal team was led by attorney Wayne Sturge, who is now the defense minister, before he stopped practicing law, served as a cabinet minister, and before he stopped practicing law to serve as a cabinet minister, claimed that the allegations were completely false. And well, he won the matter, and he will receive $350,000 in compensation. All right, so those are some of the headlines in the paper this morning. Oh, Lordy Lord, Mark. All right, so elders, let's get it cracking with elders. This vacation, people, elders classes is offering 3 exciting opportunities for growth and success. Now, they have 3 courses, starting with the AI course, which is a 3-week course, and you can gain the competitive edge, learn to master practical AI tools that transform your business projects and school assignments. And you have the CSEC vacation classes. So parents, set your teenagers on the right track for the new school term and enroll them in the 6-week program for Forms 3, 4, and 5. You also have the Conversational Spanish, which is a 7-week course that you can also sign up for. It's going to open doors and new opportunities for you. So call elders today on 627-8632 or WhatsApp them on 715-5480 and get registered today. With that, we take the break. When we come back from the break, Gary Griffith will join us. He'll join us via the phone line, and we'll get a conversation going on these PDOs and why all of this, conversation is all, why it is in, up for all of this scrutiny right now. So keep it right here. Don't go anywhere. Breaking Dawn continues after this.
O rei chegou! Ronaldo! Portugal! João Neves! Vitinha! Diogo! João Cancelo! Trincão!
Come on down to the AO World Cup Arena. View all World Cup games live. Located at All Out, 94 Tragrig Road, Queen's Park Oval, Port of Spain.
At Adams Optical, we care for your vision with everything from stylish frames, contact lenses, and sunglasses, starting at just $595 to advanced eye care services. We also diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma and cataracts with our in-house ophthalmologist. Additional services include OCT, VFT, and cataract surgeries. Visit us at San Fernando, Chaguanas, or Rio Claro.
Are love problems, marriage issues, financial struggles, or business setbacks affecting your life? Pandit Tiwari is a trusted spiritual specialist helping people finding guidance, solutions, and peace. Whether you are facing relationship problems, family disputes, marriage difficulties, financial obstacles, or business challenges, Pandit Tiwari provides personalized spiritual assistance to help you move forward with confidence. Don't let problems control your future. Your solution could be just one call away. Call Pandit Tiwari today. Pandit Tiwari, your path to happiness, success, and peace.
Welcome to Car City Trading, your #1 supply of brand new Korean auto parts. Come on down to lot number 78, Bamboo Settlement number 2, Valsain, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday to get your Hyundai and Kia vehicular needs. Car City Trading has everything your vehicle needs, from a brand new head and blocks to engine parts, transmissions, suspension parts, body parts, electrical parts, braking system, AC system, even the smallest sensor, and much more. WhatsApp us today at 704-2246 or call us at 645-2603 and let us be your car parts solution. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and look out for our monthly deals and promotions. Car City Trading, quality products at unbeatable prices.
Feeling distance in your relationship or sensing someone interfering between you and your partner? Connect with Pandit Anirudh, known for powerful and result-oriented love solutions. His effective love spells have helped many reunite with lost partners. If you face family conflict, marriage issues, negativity, or financial stress, his strong mantras bring quick relief. Know what lies ahead in your love life and future through powerful astrology readings. Many lives have changed. Now it's your turn. Contact +1 868 278 0399.
Cars, sports, careers, food. We men always talk about these things, but not about our health. Did you know that testosterone is responsible for muscle mass, strength, deep voice, healthy hair growth, and the sex drive? With low testosterone, we may not achieve our potential. The good news is that Jameson Power for Men is an excellent testosterone support. Take Jameson Power for Men and perform to your max. Jameson, here for your health.
Every day at the castle, long before we open our doors, our work begins. Our famous seasonings are mixed in advance. We select our fresh chicken parts and prep our delicious sides. Then we fire up the fryers and rotisserie oven. Everything is made with tasty local herbs, spices, and the same long-loved recipe since 1968. So, when you come in, remember that we uphold our culture and our taste just for you. We are your Royal Castle.
You will not deny that this is the maddest place on earth, and we go shout from the top of the mountains. This is the greatest place, our great escape, my favorite space, the maddest place on earth. Would you believe me when I tell you? Better you come and take a sample. A little bit is still a lot to handle, but you can find no other example. We really have a different kind of style. The elders teach it to me as a child, and this is how we know that we are alive. Vincy people never need to go to start a vibe. It's Vincy time, June and July. You need to fly down to the maddest place on earth. Can't tell no lie.
We are deep into stoppage time, all. They must be careful here. Oh no! But hang on. They are checking it. It's going to be in the hands of the VAR. This is unbearable. The goal has been reversed. They have felt everything it is possible to feel.
Air conditioning problems? Then look no further. A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an easy solution for all your automotive, commercial, and domestic air conditioning needs. With 2 convenient locations to serve you, A&K Air Conditioning Supplies offers you an extensive range of parts and services, including pressure test kits, refrigerator parts, front and rear evaporators for maxi taxis. They also cater for both foreign and local automobile models like Kia, Hyundai, Honda, Nissan, and more. So pay them a visit today at either of their 2 locations. Number 36 Alfonso Street, Sangre Grande. Phone 784-2707 or 386-5700. And number 133 Corner Roland Street at Bonaventure Main Road, Gasparillo. Phone 312-2245 or 782-9720.
Astrologer Mohit Ji is known for providing insightful astrology guidance for complex life situations, dealing with love confusion, delayed marriage, partner distancing, or serious relationship breakdowns. His approach focuses on understanding the root cause and guiding you toward the right path. If financial instability or business setbacks are affecting you, his spiritual remedies may support positive change. With psychic reading, horoscope analysis, and palm insights, he offers practical clarity. His services also include protection from negative energies and removal of bad luck. Call at +1 868 334 2796.
All right, people, so we're back on Breaking Dawn, and right about now we're joined by Gary Griffith via the phone line, former Commissioner of Police, of course, former National Security Minister. We're going to talk to him about these PDOs because he's been one of the people that out there talking about it, along with others, which we'll get into that conversation. I'll get into that conversation with him. Gary, morning. Hello. Morning.
Yeah, morning. Hear me now?
Yeah, morning, man. Welcome back to the program.
Yes, thank you. Good morning.
All right. So Gary, we have these preventive detention orders that have been, in the discussion here, the center of a discussion recently. So let me just get the issue here that people need to be looking at with these PDOs.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hello,
Stefan. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, sure. Yeah. Good morning again. My take on it, and we're starting about this, Stefan, is that this country is so divided. If someone says something in support of the PDO, they will say that he's looking for a walk. If it is you say something with voicing your concern, they will ask, what about Stuart Young's stepdaughter? Sour Great. And I am just here to speak about logic, about dealing with the issue. The issue is a preventive detention order, and I hear a lot of people keep calling it a preventative. It's a preventive detention order. That PDO it's something that my concern about. It is not about Roger Alexander or Guevara or this government. It has to do with the process, and you have to look at it from the process. Because today it could be a UNC government doing this, and next 4 years, it could be a PNM government. And the concept of a PDO is that it gives the minister full authority and sole authority to incarcerate someone without evidence and without a charge. And that is my concern. This has nothing to do with the government. It can be not my business, who doesn't know or doesn't care. I am speaking about the present process. I think there's a flaw in the law where it can easily be abused if the wrong person holds that position as Minister of Homeland Security / National Security. And I'll give you a perfect example. I was totally targeted by the previous government. They pressured me to arrest political opponents of the government, inclusive of Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. I was being contacted constantly about investigations and so forth, and I told them where to get off, because that's my style. I don't need a job that badly. And if it is that, and then after, because of that, they started targeting me with lies about firearms, inclusive of the Minister of National Security, and this is Gary Griffith being quoted, not Synergy. He lied to the country. They spoke about, and the Prime Minister, about firearm corruption and so forth. They could have easily done, which is what happened. There was a man who was a previous special branch officer, wrote a report, called it secret report, called it an intelligence report. A prime minister gives it to Bliss Seepersad, and they use that to withdraw merit list based on what was known as an intelligence report. If the PNM had done a same PDO, I would have been arrested. And look at it, 5 years later, not one person has been, not one name called, not one person arrested or charged. So the PNM government littered lies because of the refusal of a commissioner to do their bidding illegally. And they came up with a false intelligence report. My point being is that today it could be Roger Alexander. Who knows? Suppose in 4 years' time, Fitzgerald Hines becomes the director of the SSA. The SSA is a political tool of the government where the government can handpick anyone. My point on it is to avoid that from happening. Let it be solely that the commissioner of police, that is supposed to be an independent appointed body, not appointed by the politicians per se. He must have the sole authority as from intelligence to forward to the minister. Now, granted, from what I believe that has happened in this situation, I think the commissioner of police would have done it. But it is not in law. There's nothing that prevents Roger Alexander or any minister in the future to just get any report, call it an intelligence report, and use that to incarcerate someone. And therein lies the problem. I know you said you wanted to ask about the tribunal. The tribunal is totally irrelevant. The tribunal allows persons to appeal the ruling of the PDO, and that tribunal will have 3 persons. They will listen to it, and they can reject the appeal, or they can agree that the appeal is worthy. But it still goes back to the minister who has full authority to reject it or to override it. So it still goes back to a politician having full authority. I could ask persons to look at that movie I recall called The Siege with Bruce Willis, and it was something very similar where you have to look at the needs of the many outweighing the needs of the few. And New York City, what they did is that they decided to lock up every single Muslim because they couldn't pinpoint the terrorists. And that could very well happen here. Where you could say, look, every single gang member could be somebody committing a crime. I'm just going to put PDOs and all. And then there's the problem with what happens after when it is you don't have intelligence to turn to evidence. What happens is these persons now come out being freed, and all the attorneys who are well qualified will now sue the state, and taxpayers will now have to spend tens of millions of dollars. My take on it is that this should come solely from the Commissioner of Police and not just stating the minister can issue a PDO based on credible intelligence. Credible intelligence is equivalent to what Rowley and Hines did by taking a live report from a previous special branch officer and call it an intelligence report.
Right. All right. So I am understanding. All right. I'm understanding that part of it. But in the process of a PDO being issued, according to the information that I have gotten from what I understand from what the minister says, is it doesn't, the issuing of the PDO doesn't come from his office down. It comes from the investigative teams and goes up and comes to him. And then he has to look over the requests and then sign off on it. So he's a kind of rubber stamp kind of situation where when a PDO is issued. So first off, is that accurate? Is that the accurate way that a PDO is issued from the bottom go up to the top?
100% inaccurate. I mean, Roger's my boy. I mean, I was the one who promoted him. I was the one who kept him on a talk show. So I have no issue with Roger Alexander. I hope he could succeed. But being in middle management, he wouldn't really understand these things. So when I listened to his comments, I mean, it was sad when he was stating, and it have to go to the attorneys, and the attorneys have to analyze it. Roger Alexander, attorneys and lawyers don't analyze intelligence reports. An attorney cannot analyze an intelligence. So when he was saying these comments, I couldn't believe we have media that couldn't understand. If you have an intelligence report and an attorney cannot analyze it, the attorneys are there to look at the documentation and to making sure that the actual administrative aspect is accurate, not the data in the intelligence report. So the minister, in contrast, is not a rubber stamp. He is the sole authority, and that is where the problem lies. Now, and this is not to all the UNC, Abona UNC and Abadera UNC. This is not to criticize the minister and the commissioner. This process may very well, with Dominic Adid or whoever, could very well be in keeping with what I am stating, where the commissioner had full knowledge. He did all the intelligence on his own. He compiled it with his investigative officers, and he forwarded it to the minister. But that is not in law. That is my problem. because the law states that the minister will take credible intelligence. And credible intelligence could be two men in a rum shop. It could be a previous special branch officer named Barrington write something littered with lies, and then a prime minister runs like a little child to president's house, give Blissy Prasad and say, this is an intelligence report, and then goes on political platforms and then lie and say that this is a secret report. That is how a politician could turn it. An intelligence report must only come from a bona fide national security agency, qualified and trained to deal with intelligence, i.e. the Defense Force Intelligence Unit, the SSA, and different arms in the police service such as Special Branch, FIU, and so forth. But my point being is that if the minister stating that credible intelligence can say, I have my own informants, I have my confidential informants, I have the SSA, who I can handpick as a director. You would have seen, remember, we hear all the Rishmi Ramnarayan and the pre-2010 when a prime minister had directed the SIA to intercept the phones of Gary Griffith, Kamala, Winston Dukaran, Keith Rowley, etc. That is the dangers of the SSA. It is and can be seen as a political tool, which is why I'm saying it must come solely from the office of the Commissioner of Police, and he makes a recommendation upon which the minister now can approve or deny it. And in the present status, the minister has sole authority based on what is deemed as credible information, credible intelligence. My concern is today could be Roger Alexander, tomorrow could be somebody in another political party. So before people jump on the political bandwagon and start asking, what happens to your young stepdaughter? They love that road march, because when they can't answer a question based on ignorance and understanding the topic, they turn to that. And just by the way, Gary Griffith showed what many people in this country could not do, had the ethics to arrest and charge his own family. If you are so stupid, you don't understand that after a charge is laid, the judge and the court grants bail, just as it did with present government ministers. So I have to educate the illiterate who, every time you can't answer a question or you have a concern with what I say, you have to turn to, what about your young stepdaughter? Yeah, let's deal with the issue, please.
All right. Well, the other aspect of this, okay, I understand everything you're saying there. So, but these PDOs, right? These PDOs it's a tool that falls under the state of emergency powers, right? Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So people have been asking me, they say, but Stefan, since last year we under a state of emergency, and a lot of these PDOs were issued, yet there was no conversation like what we have now in the public space about the entire process and the minister having the power and so on and so forth. It was never a discussion before. And it appears, it's the way that the way that things look, it appears that now that we have two prominent people or three prominent people in police custody, and they have been issued, PDOs have been issued to extend their detention, that all of a sudden now it's a concern. So how you respond to that?
I agree 100%. Thankfully, Gary Griffith cannot fall in that category. From day one, I spoke about three matters of concern that had I been Commissioner of Police would not have taken place. So I can't be, and people are quite correct, but I said it from day one, SOE should not and must not be used as a crime fighting tool. I said it as security advisor to Kamala Prasad-Bissessy in 2011. I said it when I was minister, which was in 2013 to 2015, and it was proven because the number of murders in my last year as minister was almost the same as all of last year when they had a SOE which could incarcerate persons indefinitely without charges and without evidence. I said it as Commissioner of Police to Keith Rowley, and again I say it now. The only reason that you have a SOE, and the Prime Minister is correct to have a SOE, and the reason I'm saying she is correct, is because of the inability of those in authority, be it the Minister, to provide policies, or the Commissioner. Within the last year, Stefan, there has not been one new unit, system, program, technology, policy, anything to reduce crime other than an SOE. So in the absence, so notice like in 2018 to 2021, every week you're hearing rapid response unit, emergency response patrol, special operation response team, GPS tracking on vehicles, dashboard cameras, operational command center, tasers, pepper spray, GPS tracking, online reporting, police app, Commissioner's Command Center, Gender-Based Violence Unit, social media reporting. I could go on and on. In the last year, we have not heard one because, again, sadly, the two persons who hold those positions were middle management. So they call a SOE. And then with the SOE now, the PDOs, and let me clarify, a PDO, the reason for a PDO is because of the inability of the law enforcement to take intelligence and to accumulate it into evidence. That is why you have a PDO. If you could take a suspect and turn that intelligence you have on them into evidence, you can lay charges. In the absence and the inability of you to take that intelligence, to turn it into evidence, you can't lay a charge. You now take what you call a get out of jail free card or get into jail free card by calling the PDO. And therein lies the problem. And the reason for this, I can tell you why. Because in the Commission of Inquiry into the attempted coup, the first recommendation was a National Operations Center. Because during the coup, the problem existed that all these intelligence agencies, they operated in silos. Had they worked together, they would have been able to accumulate the information. I was the youngest officer in the coup. I knew I was there. And we did not have that. We have formed a $500 million technological system to totally revamp that, to prevent a repeat of 1990, to be able to get all our intelligence units to work together, to be able to accumulate information, turn it into intelligence, and turn it into charges, and have joint operations. Roger Alexander, sadly, his whole life is policing. He has turned this and recommended to the Prime Minister to turn that into a dispatch center for E999. That is what the E999 is for. So we do not have a coordinating center for the Defense Force Intelligence, the FIU, the Special Branch, the SSE, to be in a building, work together, accumulate the information, and turn intelligence into evidence. That is the problem. We do not have a fusion center for intelligence gathering. You give it to Johnny Abraham, the four fellow said, I know how to use this $500 million system because I used to use a walkie-talkie in the 1980s to talk to my police officers. That is what we have, and I'm speaking about it, and then the lovers of the UNC will criticize me, but you can't debate with me on these things. I formed the NOC. I know what this is about. It is the US came in here and the UK, and they were totally shocked. What we have is even better than what is used in New York City, the ball drop for New Year's Eve. That is supposed to be used for operations, deal with natural and man-made disasters, roadblocks, traffic congestion, everything. It is being used now to dispatch vehicles, which is what the E99 is for. If we use that properly, the intelligence agencies would be able to bring that intelligence and turn it into a charge.
Wow. Let me ask you something. You said there that the government is, well, of course we are under SOE, and you said that the Prime Minister would be correct in calling an SOE, right?
Yes.
Yesterday I was trying to establish how do we measure the success of a state of emergency, because we had one last year that we saw the murder rate between 2024 and 2025 decline. We have one this year. Up to yesterday, I think the murder toll stood at 190, which is to me, as one of the callers mentioned, almost 30 murders a month, right? So that's almost a murder a day. And we under a state of emergency, albeit this is a state of emergency where we're not really feeling the pinch if you're a law-abiding citizen, because you still have your freedom of movement. You could still go and take a line by the bar. You could go by All Out and watch your football today. Whatever you want to do, you could do, right? But well, in terms of, normal movement and entertainment and so on and so forth, there is no curfew. Yeah. But how do we measure if this SOE, this continuous SOE, is successful? Where is the measuring stick?
Yeah, you're correct, because your right for freedom of movement has not been infringed. You can go to All Out. You could have gone to All Out yesterday to see the best football team in the world, England, qualified for the last round of 16 without any concern. So that is true. Unless of course you have the no protest zones, which again shows failure by the law enforcement head, where it is that he can now say that if a little 5'2" girl, 85 pounds, stop laughing, Stefan. It could be arrested because they are afraid that there could be a threat to national security if you protest outside the Ministry of Finance. That anytime you have a no protest zone, that is an indication of failure on the part not of the government but of the law enforcement head to say that I don't have the ability to secure the Ministry of Finance or the office of the DPP if 20 people go outside and protest. That is an indication of failure. And so it is still shocking to hear Prime Minister give that an A grade. But again, it goes back to the whole system of the SOE. You can see the glass half full rather than half empty, Stefan. The UNC supporters will see the value, the PNM supporters will not. The value of it that I will see from where I sit, which is not being blinded by politics, is there were 600 murders every year before Kamala Prasad Bisatra came into government. It moved from 600 to arguably about 360. So people will say, yes, 360 means a murder a day still going on, 30 a month. Fine. But had it not been for a state of emergency, we would have continued at 600 murders, which is 240 plus murders extra per annum. When you divide that by 12, that is 20 murders extra a month, which is every 3 days, 2 lives have been saved because of the state of emergency. So you have to look at it from that perspective. Looking at that saying, there are 30 murders a month, we are failing. No, had there not been a state of emergency, there would have been 600 murders, which meant 240 less. 240 divided by 12 is 20 a month. Every 3 days, 2 lives are being saved because of the state of emergency. Now, the comments I made here, Roger Alexander would not have been able to bring that forward to show to the benefit of the government. But the point being is that the reason why you have to put the state of emergency, to put that down from 600 to 360, is because of the failure of the Commissioner of Police and the Minister to come up with any new tool, policy, program, technology, or unit to be able to peg back the criminals, which is what we did. My last year as Commissioner, there were less murders per annum from August 2020 to August 2021 than last year when you had a SOE to arrest people. So it shows that we can very well peg back criminals without the need for SOE. What you need is to have the systems of good management, good leadership, accountability, measuring performance of the police officers, and the criminal elements really pegged back. They were careful. And mind you, this was not an indication of aggressive policing, because public trust and confidence in the police service during that period was 59%. So we had a system of many unit system programs, technology that put an end to kidnapping, home invasion, extortion, pegged back the criminals. It was less, there were 340 odd murders in that year without a SOE, which gave you the authority to just lock up everybody, incarcerate them so they can't commit crime, and then we blow a trumpet. That is not how you deal with the situation. So this is why I would say, at this time, the Prime Minister is left with no choice but to stay with the SOE because of the failure of those in authority and national security to do their job and come up with proper systems, policies, programs, and units to peg back the criminals.
And just a couple of questions before we wrap up here. We're almost out of time. Somebody brought it up to me the other day. They asked me, they said, Stefan, you think the community comfort patrols would be an effective tool to revisit that whole community comfort patrol initiative? If it's probably worth, or it would be effective in terms of revisiting it. What are your thoughts on that? Because you were National Security Minister when those community comfort patrols, that initiative was around. And then, of course, it was scrapped and so on and so forth. But what are your thoughts on that? Because I think some sort of presence is important and serves as a significant deterrent in terms of crime. And one of the things I think is lacking is that presence. People not seeing, whether it's a police vehicle or whatever, but the presence of a police or any form of law enforcement in our community does serve as a deterrent. What are your thoughts on that? Could that be revisited? Would it be effective in this timing now?
Of course, definitely. I was the line minister when the community comfort patrol came about. Similar to the rapid response unit, similar to the highway patrol, similar to the national security special operations group. Because as a minister, you have to come up with policies, not come up with memes and one-liners to speak about the cow jumping over the moon and left is right and inside is outside. When you and just having these different lines that confuse the life out of people. That community comfort patrol, it worked. And unfortunately, because of the change in government in 2015, all the things that I implemented as the minister, as part of the National Security Council of the UNC government, we formed the community comfort patrol, the highway patrol, the rapid response unit. What that did is ensure the highest reduction in serious crime in 31 years without a state of emergency that will take away the rights of citizens to have bail, to go to court, or to be able to defend yourself if wrongfully accused. And that shows that it could work. Unfortunately, this minister does not know how to implement any of these things that I spoke about. And in the failure of that is why the Prime Minister again has to continue to turn into the googly of the state of emergency. But there are many things that cause crime to be pegged back. And again, going back to whether it was 2013 or 2015, 2018 or 2021, there are things that can work to peg back the criminal elements. But you need to have that deterrent, that high visibility. Stefan, when last have you seen a police officer assist in reducing traffic? In 2018 to 2021, we had that every time there was a traffic light that was down, a car accident, immediately, because we had the NOC was used for that. We will pinpoint it, send dispatch vehicles. You call 999 in less than 5 minutes. You could have a response. Now you have to go back to police stations trying to deal with trying to answer distress calls. There's no GPS on the vehicle to ensure that the closest vehicles could get to the area of responsibility. Traffic congestion, you can't find a police officer. The only time you see the police on the road now is to give you a ticket for a roadblock. That is the type of proactive policing that you need to be able to transform the image and the mindset of how the public sees the police. These are the same 7,500 police officers that everywhere you turn, you've got a repeat happening on a Friday night, every 3 minutes people cussing me because they can't get drunk because the blue lights in their face. It was up close and personal. Now you say that you need 2,500 more police officers, which is going to impact 500 million extra in salaries, and you already have a problem with dealing with the maintenance of vehicles, of buildings and so forth. You can't get uniforms for police. You have the bulletproof vests they have expired. They're not doing the proper training that is required, and now you want to add 2,500. We do not need to increase quantity. We need to enhance quality.
Okay. Well, just finally here before we go, World Cup, boy. Well, I see, is England US back, right?
Yeah, England, it's coming home. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Yes.
Now we will see. I think there's England World Cup. I said it from the start. I think there's England World Cup to lose. Although a little concerned about England facing Mexico in the Azteca, because Mexico don't really lose. They don't lose no game now in the Azteca, and all they had ahead there. But I think the hydration break is what will save all you.
Well, yeah, but again, the unfortunate thing is what you've seen. FIFA's worked this well as for the boy Messi. You put all the big guns on one side and draw. You put the France, Germany, Belgium, all of the big teams you put on one side, and on the other side you just put Brazil, Argentina. But that is where they made the mistake. England is on that half of the draw, so we will deal with them.
All right, man. Well, take it easy, man. We'll see how the World Cup goes, man. We'll see if it really coming home. Later, yeah. Thanks a lot. Right. All right, so that's Gary Griffith on the inside there. I have here a gift. Is this a gift that came, Chris? All right, so it's not a gift? It have nothing in it? So you're trying to tell me somebody sent a big box tape up and all kind of thing with nothing in it? Oh, right. So we want to thank Gary Griffith, of course, for his time and giving me a little insight on those PDOs. 2 notes on them. Okay, just now. Okay. I don't know. We got a package here. Oh, from the South Regional Referees. All right, nice, man. Nice. They were in Miami for my birthday, and they decided to get me a gift. What you think? Ah, boy. All right, no problem. They know the thing, man. They know the thing. Ah, boy. They know the thing. Yes. They know the thing. I will let you all know. And I got a nice little baby ball, too. Eh? It's a World Cup ball, man. Oh, yeah. A nice little mini version, man. Great. All right, so I'll tell you what. We got to get to the break. And during the break, of course, when we come back from the break, Mr. Ramkumar Narayan Singh has to join us. You don't say us. All right. And then, of course, we have Calypsonian Twiggy. She will be coming up later on inside this hour. Inside the second hour. We're 2 minutes away from the hour of 7 o'clock. Let me just remind you guys that Chef Shiraz, Chef has the open day. That's right. On the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th of July, the open day at the Chef Shiraz Culinary Academy will take place from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is free admission, refreshments provided, and from academy tours to information sessions to scholarship and payment plan information and more. Live cooking demo at 11 a.m. So you could give him a call on 372-4639 or 737-5097 and get in today for that open day. All right, get yourself on board and participate, and you never know, you might discover the chef in you. And Seth Wyall aboard. Seth has the Holistic Health Clinic powered by nutritional therapy, and it's very simple. Start reversing those diseases rather than managing them, all right? Reverse them naturally. And all you have to do is give Seth a call and book an appointment now for a consultation. His number is 279-3935 or 761-1952. And when you call him, you could also order his book, You Are Not Sick, You Are Malnourished. And you could also get the book at RIK bookstores nationwide, Nelson's in Tobago, and of course, Gumroad, all right? And Amazon. All right, so just as we go to the break here and we take you to 7 o'clock and we get to Mr. Ramkumar Narayan Singh, Senegal, boy, Senegal threw that game yesterday, boy. Senegal choke. All leading 2-0. And yeah, they kill eyeline, eh? This World Cup, football is just the greatest sport in the world, you know. My money was on Senegal, by the way. But you leading 2-0. But about 8 minutes ago or 6 minutes ago in that game, and all let Belgium get back in that game after they knocked the stuff in. I had never seen a more demoralized looking team than Belgium at that stage of the game. And Senegal just let them back in and lose in extra time. I feel it for them yesterday, you know. You know, I mean, I was backing them because Sadio Mane used to play for Liverpool, and people just forget Senegal is you know, multiple African Nation Cup champions and things like that. The African nations have shown themselves well in this World Cup, and Egypt, Mohamed Salah and Egypt will be in action today, as well. No, it's today or Friday, boy? Today's what, Thursday? Today's Thursday. That's all. Let me make sure I have the schedule correct, eh? Today's Portugal. The Portuguese, boy. All you know is half Portuguese, right? Nice. Well, United States won last night 2-0. That was our foregone conclusion. But the games today, right, so today, Spain, Austria, Portugal, Croatia, that'll be the big game at 7 p.m. And then Switzerland and Algeria. So yeah, Egypt is playing tomorrow along with Argentina and Colombia. That Colombia-Ghana game tomorrow night. Oh God, I ain't want nobody bothering me. Don't bother me. You see that game tomorrow night, Colombia. And I told people, listen, you know, I tell fifth officials this about a month ago, you know. I say, only watch Colombia, you know. That team playing some kind of football. They're playing high intensity, fast paced, attacking football. If Ghana feel they could park the bus like what they do against England, they lie, is another thing with Colombia. Luis Diaz and company, they are the top of the game. So some entertaining games today. That Spain-Austria game will be an interesting one. But Portugal-Croatia, that'll be the one that everybody has their eye on today. That's the main event, so to speak. So we'll see what happens. We got Mr. Ramkumar Narayan Singh coming up after the break. I want to thank the South Regional referees. Thanks a lot. And we're going to be back after this. Oh God, I still have it.
Welcome to Sombrano's Learning Academy. We are more than just a preschool. We are a family-oriented early childhood center where children are loved, nurtured, and inspired to grow. We'd like to think of ourselves as a safe space. From the moment a family joins our community, our hope is that they feel welcomed, safe, secured, and truly at home. By cultivating positive partnership, education becomes a journey best traveled together. We understand that every child is unique with their own strengths, interests, personality, and learning styles. That is why we believe every child has potential, and our role is to nurture their curiosity, confidence, independence, and love of learning so that they can thrive both in school and life. Using meaningful experiences, hands-on explorations, and proven educational practices, we create and develop a genuine love for learning. Our goal is to help children become confident, capable, independent learners who are prepared for an ever-changing world. We focus on developing the whole child by supporting not only academic growth, but also social emotional development, problem-solving skills, resilience, and character. Most importantly, we believe that when children feel valued, connected, and understood, they thrive. Enrollment is ongoing at this time. You can contact us at 689-1345. We invite you to experience the warm partnership and sense of belonging at Zambrano's Learning Academy.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Astrologer Mohit Ji is known for providing insightful astrology guidance for complex life situations, dealing with love confusion, delayed marriage, partner distancing, or serious relationship breakdowns. His approach focuses on understanding the root cause and guiding you toward the right path. If financial instability or business setbacks are affecting you, his spiritual remedies may support positive change. With psychic reading, horoscope analysis, and palm insights, he offers practical clarity. His services also include protection from negative energies and removal of bad luck. Call at +1 868 334 2796.
Big sale event at Salinas and Sebastian's. Graduation, prom, weddings, Father's Day, or just stepping into your next big moment. We've got you covered because Salinas and Sebastian's, it's more than a suit. It's the perfect fit when it matters most. From the boardroom to date night, look sharp, feel confident, and show up ready. And because value matters, now is the time to dress best for less. Enjoy 25 to 35% off special suits and create a look that's uniquely yours. Complete the look. 35% off dress shirts. Up to 50% off selected dress shoes with any formal purchase. Sneakers. Buy one, get one free. Or buy one and get one half price. Ladies, 25% off selected dress shoes for your special moments. Dress for the moments that matters most. Salinas and Sebastian's, located at Gulf City Mall, upper level. WhatsApp 715-9533.
Welcome to Caribbean Tourist Villa, your home away from home in the heart of Port of Spain. With over 25 years of trusted hospitality, Caribbean Tourist Villa has been a reliable choice for both business professionals and vacationers. Our guest rooms are thoughtfully equipped with all the essentials for a relaxing and productive stay, and our tranquil pool area is perfect for relaxation after a busy day. We've created the ideal space for you to relax, recharge, and enjoy. Give us a call to book your stay today.
If you want to be a better chef at home or advance your professional career, Chef Shiraz Culinary Academy is the best place to be. Some of the courses that we offer here at the Academy: Creative International Cuisine 1 and 2, Baking and Pastry 1 and 2, Kids Summer Cooking Classes, one-day classes at the workshop. We have Asian cooking classes and certificating culinary arts, food lovers and professionals.
Start your culinary journey today with us at the Chef Shiraz Culinary Academy.
Are you tired of managing symptoms without understanding why your body is breaking down? Setwayo's Holistic Health Clinic provides consultation and re-education sessions followed by nutritional therapy programs designed to address the root causes of chronic disease. The clinic works with clients in Trinidad and Tobago and internationally, helping people rebuild the body through correct nutrition, not drugs, supplements, herbs, detoxes, injections, or quick fixes. Setwayo is also the author of You Are Not Sick, You Are Malnourished, a powerful health book that has been the top-selling book on consignment at RIK bookstores nationwide every month since entering the stores. If you're struggling with cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, autoimmune issues, fertility challenges, digestive problems, or other chronic condition, book a consultation and re-education session today. Purchase the book at RIK bookstores nationwide, Nelson's Bookstore in Tobago, Amazon, or Gumroad. Visit setwayoclinic.com or call or WhatsApp 279-3935 or 761-1952. Seth Wires Holistic Health Clinic, rebuilding the body, reversing disease through nutritional therapy.
At Adams Optical, we care for your vision with everything from stylish frames, contact lenses, and sunglasses, starting at just $595 to advanced eye care services. We also diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma and cataracts with our in-house ophthalmologist. Additional services include OCT, VFT, and cataract surgeries. Visit us at San Fernando, Chaguanas, or Rio Claro.
Concerned about the safety and security of your property? Then look no further. At Electromatic Gate Systems, they specialize in fabrication of gates, fencing, and much more. They also provide remote control access for sliding and swing gates and garage doors for residential, commercial, and industrial use. Have a design in mind? They can fabricate and motorize it into reality. Why choose them? They supply Italian-made motors backed by 10 years warranty, and you can ask about their lifetime warranty packages. Electromatic Gate Systems remains the sole authorized distributor for Profoundnet throughout the Caribbean. Don't compromise your security. Contact them today at 333-GATE. That is 333-4283. Find them on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, or visit their website at www.electromaticgates.com. Their team is standing by to assist.
Master Ganesh Bhargav offers powerful guidance for all kinds of life problems, doubts, confusion, protection needs, and clarity. His astrology practice comes from a powerful ancestral tribal lineage with over 500 years of astrological and spiritual practice. Bhargavji does not dominate or pressure clients. Instead, he focuses on fixing problems with care and balance. His reunion love spells and death reversal spells are designed to restore harmony and provide lifetime protection. This is not individual effort alone, but collective spiritual power working for you. Many clients notice strong positive changes within a few sessions. Call +1 868 347 2350.
All right, people, so we're back on Breaking Dawn this morning, and we got Mr. Ramkumar Narayan Singh with us this morning, and we're continuing a discussion from last week. Of course, he's industrial relations and, of course, business management, very solution-driven, finds a lot of solutions, and we had a little conversation last week. We started with late coming. We know that is the Trinidadian way of doing things, is to reach late anywhere you're going. Nobody's ever, well, I'm going to say nobody, because I know a couple of people that within my circle and my family that always on time. They don't make joke with time at all, right? But a lot of people, you know, they like to walk in and stroll into work. We don't really take the job, I guess, serious enough to reach 30 minutes before or hour before and things like that, right? Because nobody likes to spend time at the office. So we got him here this morning and we'll be chatting with him for a bit. Okay. So where did we leave off? And I know last week you said something about graces for God.
Yeah.
And you want to clarify something with that? Yeah, go ahead, no problem.
So the feedback I got, you know, some people took a little bit of umbrage to that. They felt, you know, that grace is something that employers should extend to their employees in consideration for their circumstances. So I want to put some perspective on this concept of late coming. We have provisions in law for sick leave because people will invariably get sick, right? It's the nature of a human being, right? And we have provisions in place for vacation because it is understood in the structure of our constitution and good industrial relations practices that a person who's working consistently, they do require a break from the monotony of work for the purposes of mentally resetting and that kind of thing, right? When it comes to late coming, there is no provisions in law for late coming whatsoever. So you do not have any form of entitlement to being late for work. I want to say why. So when you took this job, Stephan, let's just use you as the example for Trinidad and Tobago today. So we're gonna let Stephan be the guinea pig. So Stephan, when you took this job, you gave a commitment that you're going to be here 6 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Right? And, I mean, it means that, and there's a commitment by extension of this station to provide the viewers with a program that is available 6 a.m.
to 8 a.m. Yes.
All right? And you know some of your guests sometimes they're late. I ain't gonna call no name.
Right, yeah.
We're gonna leave that right. Right? But it affects the show, right? That's what it does. It affects the show. And the reason why you want to have consistency in the show is so that people could have an expectation that is entrenched in dependability.
Okay.
In other words, they want to be able to depend on the fact that we're going to get up at 6 a.m. and Stefan is going to be there with this program to give us the critical information and have the discourse on the issues that are affecting us.
Yeah.
Right. When, let's say that you're not there for 15 minutes. You don't get there until 15:15. It means now that the employer, the company, this show, has to find a solution to address the 15 minutes gap.
Correct.
Now, you were not here. Now, let's just imagine that you're working on the show for $100 per episode. That might be close to the figure, but all you do, we ain't going to talk about Stefan B.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Now, when you don't deliver the 2 hours, 120 minutes.
Right.
You're late by 15 minutes, whatever. You're thinking, but I do want my $100. Because that's what the average person is thinking. I don't want to lose, right? But the employer has not gotten the 120 minutes. The show didn't get it. The customers didn't get what they expected. The viewers did not have the show available when it's supposed to be available. It's going to impact on the show. People are going to start to think now, well, maybe we can't really depend on this show. Maybe we need to watch another show.
Right.
That's going to not affect Stefan per se. It's going to affect the program.
The program, yeah.
Right. But Stefan still expects his $100. And that is why the provisions of law when it comes to wages is that it must be earned. You have to deliver your service, and then in exchange for that period that you've delivered your service, there is an agreement for what would constitute your remuneration package, your wages. If tomorrow morning they decide, Stefan, we're going to move the show to 6:15 and we're going to change your pay, you're not going to accept that. You're going to be mad. You're going to say, you need to give me an explanation for why you are deciding to change the terms of our arrangement. Would you agree?
Yes, agreed.
You're going to say, guys, if all they're changing it, or they can't touch my pay. You would also say that. You don't have a problem.
most
you would
likely,
be willing to give them less time, but your money must stay the same.
Your money must stay the same.
Right. The whole principle of it is that there's supposed to be fair and equitable exchange. And you notice I say fair and equitable. I didn't say fair and equal. Because in the concept of exchange of service for money, the truth is you can't quantify the value of life by attributing the value of a salary to that said value. In other words, if I were to ask you to sell me 1 hour of your life, outside of you having a job, that kind of thing, like sell me, I'm not going to literally, it's going to really happen, you're not going to want $100, you're not going to want $1,000, you want a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
So the value of time, when it comes to a person's availability or whatever, the fact is that it does transcend the salaries that we earn. It really does. But there's an understanding that I am going to deliver the service for this money because in whatever professional capacity, and Trinidad and Tobago, we are all professionals in our individual right, regardless of what labels or what stereotypes that people apply to different job functions. The fact is that we are all professionals in our individual right. As a professional, you're delivering a service and you have an agreement and an understanding for a specific wage, right? So the point about late coming is that it is in the same way that the employer does not have a right to get up tomorrow morning and pay you less for what you have agreed as at your service period or your time. In the same way, you can't get up tomorrow morning and decide you're going to give the employer less and then still have an expectation to get what the commitment was from the start.
Okay.
Right? So employers actually have a right to not pay employees for time lost as a result of late coming. They have that right because you did not deliver what you had committed yourself to delivering.
No.
Right?
Understood.
Now, when it comes to discretion, an employer also has a right to exercise discretion on whether or not they are going to adjust somebody's salary to reflect the lost time. So most employers have this practice of, Stefan, do be late again now.
Right.
And maintain the salary. And people look at it as just a few minutes. But if you were to quantify in Trinidad and Tobago all the minutes lost, Stefan, we've done it in companies, not in Trinidad and Tobago, sorry, but in companies. When you quantify the minutes, they add up. And just think about, if I were to tell you, I'll take $1 from your pay every week. At the end of the year, it's going to be $52, right?
Yes.
If you are late 1 minute every day, 5 days, it's going to be 5 minutes, multiplied by 10, 50, multiplied by 5, 500, right? And then, so you see how it adds up, and then divide 500 by 60, and it tells you how many hours, right? My math is horrible, but I think that's what?
Maybe approximately there, yeah.
And then when you consider the impact that has on a business, it's very real. So this is where the reasonability is, Trinidad and Tobago. Being late from time to time is understood in industrial relations to be a causality of life. Because last week I didn't intend to be late. A lot of variables happen. Fender bumper, a little thing happened, a fender bender. Sorry, I said fender bumper.
Yeah.
Fender bender, and it back up the traffic in an area and whatever. These things happen, right? But if, what happens now is that as a person, like today, I left home 15 minutes earlier because I now know that I can't take the chance again of something like that happening.
Right,
but
that's going to throw you back, yeah.
Correct, and that's what employees, like people who use the excuse of traffic. Traffic is a part of life. And you have to have an idea of what the average time would be for you to get to work. And then you have to factor in the possibility that if there's an issue, a typical issue, what could be the worst case scenario? Now, employers are supposed to exercise a measure of discretion for infrequent occurrence. Right?
Infrequent occurrence.
Infrequent, yeah. Somebody, it will invariably run late. It could, I should say, the possibility exists. And in industrial relations law, we have to give some type of consideration for that, right?
Okay, but to what extent? Because I could say I was caught in traffic.
Right.
But it might be because I get up late.
Right.
When I come in work and I say, boss, that's real traffic.
Correct.
And the boss know, well, okay, traffic is exactly as you said, is a part of your daily life. You're going to run into traffic. So, all right, I'll accommodate to that.
Correct.
But it don't mean that I run into traffic.
So this is where we never negatively interpret an employee's explanation. So we do that a lot in this country.
Never negatively
interpret.
interpret.
Never. You see, this is what you do. So if you tell me that, whether or not I feel you're lying or whether you are lying becomes irrelevant. Here's the point. People just freak out. People are like, oh my, what is he talking about irrelevant? Listen, if Stefan is lying to me as the employer, you being the employee, Stefan, and you say, it's traffic. My job is to say, okay, not a problem, Stefan. So, okay, Stefan, given that traffic has affected your ability to be on time tomorrow, my expectation is that you would make a plan now to accommodate that.
Right.
Because traffic could happen tomorrow again. So that simple conversation, you don't leave it in a vacuum. You don't say, all right, not a problem, and then you wait and it happen again. Yeah, but I feel Stefan lying, but let me see what will happen again. Because now you negatively interpret the process and then you're playing the game of waiting to catch him. That's not how it works.
Okay.
Social dialogue is a critical part of the relationship. So it is my responsibility, it might even be a little bit fiduciary, meaning that it's intrinsic on me as the employer to give you that advice. Now let's just say you come again next week. Let's just say next week. Boss, I was late because traffic. Now the conversation clearly went over your head. And this is where I need to stop talking to you. I need to put the advice in writing. Dear Stefan,
so you've gone from verbal to written.
As per our previous conversation regarding the issue of traffic and its impact on your ability to be on time, the company is reminding you that you should give consideration for this issue of traffic, and therefore it is that you are advised that you should make the effort to leave home a few minutes earlier. I remember having this conversation. I wouldn't call anybody's name, of course. And the person, I will even say gender, the person, I said to the person, I said, what time? The person always late, just by 10 or 15 minutes, every single day. And instead of the conversation, everybody's freaking out. The manager said, get rid of her. They're freaking out. Everybody's freaking out. They're fed up. And I said to her, and I say, I shouldn't have said her, but maybe it's a him. You never know.
No, you never know.
And I said to the person, I said, what time do you leave home? And the person said, well, I leave 7 a.m. They're trying to get to work for 8 o'clock. I said, have you ever left home earlier? The person said, no. I said, here's a radical suggestion. Leave home 6:45. And the person said, what? 7:45? That's really early.
Yeah, 15 minutes, yeah.
This is my reaction. Yes, and you're going to be on time.
right.
But she was never late again.
Okay.
Do you know that what we take for granted, Trinidad and Tobago, as being an idea for a solution, quite often somebody else is not in their mind.
They're not aware of it. They're not aware of it. Yeah.
And I know how that sounds.
I have no. I have seen that applied. That applies to many different things.
Yeah.
Where I have said this. There are some problems that, okay, just in general, like dealing with politics or whatever, right?
Right.
You may have a problem in your community, but the problem is not a complicated problem to solve, Somebody can just walk into the community and say, but wait now, why you don't do this? And you just never thought of it, but it's one of the simplest solutions that you will come across, right? But you just nobody thought of it now. For some reason, and that's the other thing too, because sometimes what is simple for me, right,
could be complicated.
It could be complicated. It's complicated for somebody else. But because it's simple for me, you would look at the other person and say, well, how you can't figure that out.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But common sense isn't so common, as the saying goes.
So it's a measure of awareness. And I will take this opportunity to point this out. I want to add this before we go off late coming. Pattern and frequency of late coming constitutes a violation of the employment terms.
Mm-hmm.
So where a person is frequently or consistently late. So I'll give you an example. If you're late once a week, then this week you were late once. That's not a pattern. But if you're late once every week for the next 4 weeks, that's a pattern.
There's a pattern.
Right? So by itself, anything by itself, when it comes to late coming, does not constitute a violation. But from the minute, if it's collatively, it shows a frequency, then it is a pattern. Some people are late all the time on a Monday, and all the other days they're on time. And then they try to use this explanation. They say, but I was early all the other days. So I always tell them, well, let me don't pay you this month. But all the other months I've paid you. Would we have an understanding? It doesn't work, right? And that's irrational. But I'm moving on for that, Stefan. What I will go to is this. Or some people have said to me that they want to try and get in the conversation. I think next week we'll do a full call-in segment. So social dialogue, it's critical for the employment relationship. People take it for granted, both employees and employers. What does social dialogue mean? It's, in simplicity, it's the environment where a conversation is had in regards to concerns, questions, or issues that are affecting the employment relationship. And it's supposed to be free from judgment. It's supposed to be free from an environment, or from a thinking, where anybody is establishing a position of absolution. In other words, I come to talk to you about late coming, and I've taken a position beforehand that you are late because you want to be late, and you know better, and you should not be late. And I'm not trying to understand your perspective. I don't have to agree. And that's the problem in Trinidad and Tobago. People argue all the time about what their understanding is, and then they take a position, Stefan, that the other party must agree. You ever notice that? You see it in Parliament all the time, right?
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. We must now start to Societies are a place where we are very conscientious and we have a lot of information. We have access to it. And in that type of environment, it is easy for conflict to arise because everybody now believes that they are right. That's
Yeah,
what
we always
happens.
have this feeling that I right.
Right. What we must learn, what we must adopt, what we must practice as a cultural standard of progressive development is one where we take the time to express ourselves as genuinely as possible. And the simplicity of genuinity is this. Just say what you mean in the words that you are accustomed and you understand. Say that and then allow the other person to respond and allow the other person to share their views. And in listening to that, you're going to understand where you might be misrepresenting or not clarifying your position effectively. Now, alongside that, you will also get the opportunity to see where the other person's gap in understanding or their level of conscientiousness and awareness or their perspective lies. And that people practice some type of dialogue, but it's not very social. It's an anti-social dialogue.
Right.
Right? And this is where supervisory and managerial and directorships authorities get abused.
Okay.
Right.
I understand everything you're saying there with the late coming and the expectations and so on and so forth. And maybe I could tie it into something else. Not tie it into something else, but connect the whole mindset, right?
Right.
So when you're late, like I said, if you make an adjustment and you say, listen, we'll start 15 minutes late and we'll deduct X amount from your salary, right?
It's not deduction. It will be an adjustment. The reason why a deduction implies that the person has earned their money and you're taking it for some reason or penalty.
Right.
It's not that. It's an adjustment because you didn't earn it.
Right. So people don't expect, people expect to reach late and get the same money.
Yes.
Right. But yet, when they are to do overtime, right? So there's another part in the next half of the conversation.
I see where you're going with it.
Yeah, so when I have to work longer hours, I expect to be compensated and not just by the base or the basic rate,
right,
but by an extra rate because you have to pay me for my time.
Right.
Right? That extra time that you want me to work.
Absolutely. So,
right.
And I know the contention in the
so
country
there's a from the employee standpoint, there is a standard that needs to be upheld.
Right.
When I have to work longer hours.
Right.
But from the employee standpoint, well, if I reach 15 late, no big deal.
I like this. I'll tell you why.
So,
some people in trying to make a first off they envelop this. What is the right word for this practice? It's a very contentious practice,
right,
where I come late and I work back.
Right.
You ever hear about that? You were late 15 minutes,
back.
so I'm going to work 15 minutes later.
Right, yeah. I'll do an extra 15.
Worst form of practice when it comes to addressing late coming. Because it leaves room for both parties to exploit that type of arrangement. I'll tell you why. So if I know that I could work back my time, then I have the ability, I have the option now to come to work when I want. And invariably, the employer now has established a standard that changes the understanding of when the work hours start and when they end.
Right.
Because if we have that understanding, then I could show up for 10 o'clock. And then the employer will freak out and say, well, I did not intend for you to just decide that you could come when you want. But the truth is, you did create that proverbial monster because you gave the employee a blank check when it comes to what start time they should have. You never mix in overtime or additional hours worked with that type late coming.
With late coming.
Never, because it's a horrible practice. Now, somebody might be thinking, well, what about compensatory time off? There's a big difference. You see, if I call my employer and I say, listen, I have an issue and I need to be in 2 hours late, right? and there's an understanding, the employer says, here's what, not a problem, but in the interest of avoiding you having to lose 2 hours of pay, we will have an arrangement that you're going to work 2 hours on this day to make up. Those are one-off circumstances. That should never become a precedence in your company, ever. Now, let's talk now about additional hours or overtime. You notice I'm deliberately using 2 different terms?
Yes.
Right. That is because when you consider the provisions of law, overtime is covered under the Minimum Wage Act. But overtime is not an entitlement to anybody who's outside of the minimum range that is established in the Minimum Wage Act. A lot of people don't know that. It's not an entitlement. So in other words, Stefan, if I'm paying you and you're out, your salary bracket takes you outside of the minimum wage provisions, you and I can have an established understanding, established policy that your overtime calculation is going to be, or additional hours worked. It's not going to be overtime anymore. It's going to be additional hours worked. It's going to be paid at your existing rate.
Okay.
Now let me be clear about this. If companies have established policies that give this premium rate for persons, even though they're outside of the minimum range, which is $20.50 to $30.75.
So anytime you're outside of that range.
$30.75.
Right.
The Minimum Wage Act doesn't apply to you. The law is written like that. The Minimum Wage Act is applicable to persons who earn minimum wage or up to 1.5 times the minimum wage.
1.5 times.
Which is half of $20.50 is $10.25. That puts you at $30.75. So
right.
What happens is, now if companies have established already policies for overtime for those people, even though they're outside of it, those policies now take precedence.
Right.
But if a lot of companies, the standard practice is you're outside of the minimum range, we are paying you a premium salary already. Once you work additional hours, you're going to continue to earn. You'll get paid for your hours worked. And then some companies, lateral with that, they have an alternative, or you will get compensatory time off. Compensatory time off, of course, is time back. So if you work 4 hours overtime, you'll have a 4-hour period that you can take for personal use or otherwise, and it's normally arranged. So that's the dynamic, and that's the wonderful thing, Stefan, about how you manage terms.
Right.
It doesn't have to be rigid, right? At the end of the day, it just has to be in an environment where parties have mutual respect for the rights of each other.
So just to be clear, if I'm getting $150 an hour, right, and I work in accordance with the Act, and I work 3 hours overtime, I'm going to get paid, well, it will be additional time, right? And I'm going to get paid at $150 per hour, the same rate.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be in accordance with the Act because you're outside of the provisions.
Right, we're outside of the provisions, right? But I am not entitled to get more than that.
I'm entitled to be paid. So make no mistake about it. There is no provisions in law, and it's not written, but it's understood, industrial relations, and it's as a matter of fact, it's ingrained in our Constitution and in the provisions of general industrial relations practices that a person cannot work for free. That's slavery, right?
Yeah,
and that has been abolished since 1838, right?
Right.
So a person works and they must be paid.
No.
Now let's talk about the real contention. The contention of whether or not the person has in fact worked overtime or additional hours. That's the real contention, right?
Whether or not the person
has in fact worked
overtime
or the
additional hours.
Whichever way it goes. And
okay, but how do you get a whether or not?
You don't know why?
Why?
Well, look, Trinidad and Tobago, I'm informing step one.
Right.
There's a huge contention in the public sector right now, where the minister would have had made an announcement. Oh no, sorry, not the minister. I apologize. Not a minister. One of the leaders of one of the RHAs raised an issue about the or concern about the overtime calculation or the question of whether overtime
I know what you're
is
talking about.
legitimate.
I see the pool nurses.
Correct. Now,
right.
I've heard and I've seen a lot of comments. You've seen the comments, right? As a matter of fact, the public is saying, if the people work they need to be paid.
Right.
And I absolutely agree with that statement as it stands.
Yes.
If a person works, then they must be paid, because we don't have slavery in this country and anywhere in the world as far as we are, well, not in this country, but I mean, that in the world is a whole different conversation. The point though is that, where is the onus? Who has the responsibility of accounting for legitimate hours? I'll tell you, it's the employer. So the truth is, if people were paid for hours that they worked, and there is a question mark over that money paid, that's not the employee's problem. That is an employer's problem. And time and time again, we've seen situations arising where employers end up with a negative outcome, and instead of introspectively looking at their systems and their processes and their practice, they now want to blame and penalize the employee.
Right.
And that is where we have issues in this country. Remember, as a business owner or as an employer, whether you're state or private, the onus is on you to have the right systems and the right structure and the right practices that would govern the process management of your resources. And that includes your finance and your people. And Stefan, I am almost very certain that those state institutions depend on a sign-in, physically sign-out system. I feel very confident about that.
Right.
Because if I come to work and I sign, let's say I'm late, but I write 8 o'clock, whose fault is that? You know, somebody will tell me, they'll say, but the employee should not lie. Should not lie?
We have a minute left, eh?
Yeah, we're gonna close there. We're gonna close there because we will talk about this next week.
All right, no problem.
The ethics of the expectation of ethics behind the work environment and this relation. We'll talk about that next week. Whether they should or should not lie becomes irrelevant. If you allow your system to give them the opportunity to lie and get away, that's your fault.
That is your fault. All right, so I'll tell you what, people, we gotta wrap it up here with Mr. Narayan Singh, but very interesting, and exactly where we left off here. I was looking at that article, that story with the pool nurses, because I saw that the chairman, Dr. Gopi Singh, said that they were able to bring the bill down from 40 million to 4 million, which is a huge decrease in overtime pay.
And I guarantee you,
from 40 to 4.
I guarantee you, all that they did was put structures in place.
And that's
all that they did.
That has probably restructured the way.
Correct.
So we had anyway. We will get back to that next week. But I want to thank Mr. Narayan Singh for joining us this morning and sharing his insight on late coming, and of course a little thing on overtime. And we will continue discussion next week, and we will accommodate calls and comments as well next week when we do so. So we got to take a break. When we come back from the break, people, we have Twiggy, Calypsonian. Twiggy's here with us, and she has a show coming up on Sunday at Napa. We're going to talk about that for a little bit before we get to the birthdays and everything else to wrap up the show. So don't go anywhere. Breaking On continues after this.
La Roja llegó, la defensa.
Come on down to the AO World Cup Arena. View all World Cup games live. Located at All Out, 94 Tragarete Road, Queen's Park Oval, Port of Spain.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Get ready for Generations of Steel, the sweetest pan show bar none.
Featuring Desperados,
Shell Invaders,
Massey Trinidad All-Stars,
First Citizens Supernovas,
and the pride of the South, Funclair. Plus their talented youth bands. Saturday, July 11th.
At the iconic Grandstand, Queen's Park, Savannah.
Showtime, 6 p.m. till 10:30 p.m.
All performing their most exciting and multifaceted repertoire. Coolers allowed.
Early bird ticket.
2 persons on 1 ticket for only $350.
The quadrophonic tickets admits 4 persons for only $600.
The single pan tickets cost only $200.
By public demand, early bird tickets remain till Saturday, 4th July.
Additional $10 off for online purchases.
Children 12 and under, accompanied by an adult. Admission is free. Get yours now. Available at islandetickets.com.
At Crosby St. James.
All Kenny Sports.
All Extra Foods Supermarket.
Westby, Tagarigua. Athletes by the Park.
Jumbo Foods Barataria.
Gag Electrical. Opposite Starlight. Tigger Martin Main Road. Tarp Office. Belmont. Mirage Westside Supermarket. Arima. Anderson Fashion. Opposite Citygate. Western Union. Tuna Puna. And all participating bands. Presented by Super Pan Man. Dane Gulston and Friends.
Supported by CCN TV6, The Express Newspaper, and I-95.5 FM.
For more info, call 732-3402.
Before you take your omega-3 supplement, check for the natural products number NPN on the label. This unique code shows that Jameson products have approved rigorous Health Canada testing for safety and effectiveness. Unlike some supplements that carry disclaimers like not approved by the FDA, Jameson Omega-3 is the trusted choice, offering 1800 milligrams of EPA and DHA for heart health. Choose quality. Choose Jameson.
Welcome to Antigua Mars. Them people have no behavior, they have no behavior. Welcome to Antigua Mars. Clear out how you know it's danger, how you know it's danger. When it comes to Mars, it was deadly.
Every day at the castle, long before we open our doors, our work begins. Our famous seasonings are mixed in advance. We select our fresh chicken parts and prep our delicious sides. Then we fire up the fryers and rotisserie oven. Everything is made with tasty local herbs, spices, and the same long-loved recipe since 1968. So, when you come in, remember that we uphold our culture and our taste just for you. We are your Royal Castle.
At Adams Optical, we care for your vision with everything from stylish frames, contact lenses, and sunglasses, starting at just $595 to advanced eye care services. We also diagnose and manage conditions like glaucoma and cataracts with our in-house ophthalmologist. Additional services include OCT, VFT, and cataract surgeries. Visit us at San Fernando, Chaguanas, or Rio Claro.
Concerned about the safety and security of your property? Then look no further. At Electromatic Gate Systems, they specialize in fabrication of gates, fencing, and much more. They also provide remote control access for sliding and swing gates and garage doors for residential, commercial, and industrial use. Have a design in mind? They can fabricate and motorize it into reality. Why choose them? They supply Italian-made motors backed by 10 years warranty, and you can ask about their lifetime warranty packages. Electromatic Gate Systems remains the sole authorized distributor for ProfoundNet throughout the Caribbean. Don't compromise your security. Contact them today at 333-GATE, that is 333-4283. Find them on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, or visit their website at www.electromaticgates.com. Their team is standing by to assist.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, roti makers. Try Chic Lisha high quality, unbleached, bromate free, all purpose and whole wheat flour. Bleached flour and bromate flour is treated with chemicals that can cause cancer, and this is banned in Europe and many other countries. Chic Lisha flour offers a healthier option, being that it's unbleached and bromate free. It also has a finer grain and a softer texture, lower priced and conveniently packaged in 2 pound, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. Available at groceries and supermarkets. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Chic Lisha Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit them at Warrenville, Canoopia. Chic Lisha Limited. Quality you can trust.
Feeling distance in your relationship or sensing someone interfering between you and your partner? Connect with Pandit Anirudh, known for powerful and result-oriented love solutions. His effective love spells have helped many reunite with lost partners. If you face family conflict, marriage issues, negativity, or financial stress, his strong mantras bring quick relief. Know what lies ahead in your love life and future through powerful astrology readings. Many lives have changed. Now it's your turn. Contact +1 868 278 0399.
Eden Heights Clinic is one of the most advanced state-of-the-art alternative clinics in the Caribbean. They offer a dynamic combination of life-changing treatments, including prolozone therapy, live blood analysis, halotherapy, limb backing, nutritional programs, colon hydrotherapy, weight loss programs, oxygen baths, and more. Their professional doctors, Drs. Carlos Navarro, Bronwyn Navarro, and Brian Thompson provide consultation services in areas of diabetes detox programs, arthritis, sports injuries, heart disease, high blood pressure, persons suffering with knee, shoulder, and back pain. At Eden Heights Clinic, they understand that your health is your wealth. Get in touch with them to determine which service is the right choice for you. Visit them at any one of their 3 locations at 13 Montague Avenue, Twin City, at 41 Ramsaran Street, Shoguanas, or give them a call at 640-8985 or 613-7571, or send them a WhatsApp to 493-9196. Eden Heights Clinic is your right choice.
All right, people, so we're back on Breaking Dawn. We're just about 10 minutes away from the hour of 8 o'clock, and we have Calypsonian Twiggy with us here. I want to say good morning to Twiggy,
Stephen.
and I also want to say happy birthday to her. She's celebrating her birthday today. All right?
Thank you.
Nice, man. Yes, a July born in July, man. Today, of course, being the 2nd of July, and this weekend is going to be a busy weekend. It will be a busy weekend, as it always is, because I can have mountain still.
Yes.
But it's also, I think, Canada celebrated independence, I think it was yesterday. If I'm not sure. And then we have the big July the 4th in the United States. We had the World Cup going on there, all kind of things. It's all kind of madness going on.
Yeah. It's a crazy weekend.
It's a crazy weekend, and you have joined the madness of that weekend, bringing something here local with a show at Napa. So we're going to talk to her about the show. But just to let you all know, some of the achievements in Calypso, some of the things that Twiggy has been able to achieve in Calypso. First runner-up Calypso Queen competition 1979, inaugural Calypso Queen NWAC 1985. In 1986, she joined the Roy Cape All-Stars and toured in 1989 with Black Stallion and All-Stars throughout North America, Canada, and the Caribbean. She also had a 4th place in St. Martin's Queens competition in 94. In 97, she was the first runner-up at the NWAC Calypso Queen competition. In 98, she had the signature song Up Under Me, and was nominated for Sunshine Awards. And in 2009 and 2025, she was nominated for the NAAC Top 20 Awards. And in 2009, she was sent by the Ministry of Culture to Washington, D.C. and Jamaica to perform for the Trinidad and Tobago Consulate for Trinidad and Tobago's independence. All right, and today she's still performing. She's celebrating 50 years in Calypso.
That's right.
And she's celebrating 70 years today in life. So 70 years in life, 50 years in Calypso. Tell us a little bit about your journey from the start, you know what I mean, where you started. Just give us a little insight into that and what it was like to be touring, you know, with Roy Cape.
Cape and yes. Well, starting from school, primary school, music festival, whatever, I always used to be singing. And then when I'm like a kid, that's California, Central Trinidad, right?
Okay.
Then I came back to Port of Spain. Actually, I was born on Observatory Street, Port of Spain.
Okay.
So came back to Port of Spain at the age of 12. Started again to go to school. And at the age of 15, 16, I went into the night pubs.
Okay.
Started singing rhythm and blues, Diana Ross song. And
serious?
Yes,
For you easy. All right.
Yes, I started singing in the night pubs and stuff. Brother Superior, the late Brother Superior, Andrew Macano, he had a night pub also.
Okay.
In La Porta, Digger Martin. The name of the club was Tongue and Country.
Tongue and Country.
Nightclub, yes.
Okay.
And I performed there together with people like the late Explainer and stuff.
Okay, what era that was? That was like in the 70s and the...
Right, just 72, 73.
Right.
And 73, he asked me, you could sing Calypso, you like Calypso? I say, of course. He said, well, sing a song for me.
Right.
And I sang Black Stallion, Martin Luther King, a verse and chorus.
Okay.
And he said, well, yeah, you're good. Next year I'll do a song for you. And he gave me the song and I enter Regal Calypso tent, 1974. The song was done by the late Explainer again.
Right.
Yeah, Morals was the name of the song.
Morals,
and
okay.
the tent was, oh boy, it used to be Westport Hyatt is right now. Yeah, there was a tent there.
Is that a tent there?
Of course. We had
Well, all right. I born in 77, so let us keep. I born in 77, so I know again history here. So that a tent by Hyatt.
Yes, and we were there with Chalk Dust, the late Duke, Superior. A lot of them was there singing. Diane was one of the females I met in that tent too. Yeah. After that, I went on to OYB, which was Original Young Brigade.
Right.
Right, with Lord Shorty and they, right? Then they had a split. Shorty went to Queen's Hall and Sparrow stayed at that tent.
Okay.
And he changed the name to SYB.
Okay.
Sparrow's Young Brigade. I stayed there and then move on. I sang at about 13 tents. 13 to 14 tents I performed in during that 50 years.
During that 50 years.
That's right.
And touring with Roy Cape, what was that like? Because that would have been Roy Cape, and Roy Cape was now, well, I mean, that would have been in the early 80s.
80s, yeah, 90, 80, right, that's right.
Yeah.
My son was right. And
yeah, 86.
After I won the Calypso Queen, the first Calypso NY Queen, I think like the other year I joined Roy Cape and then we started touring. Beautiful to Europe, North America, and the Caribbean.
What was it like? That was the first tour you went on?
Definitely.
What was that like, that experience?
First one was in, we did North America. We did some, a different stint, and some of them were promotional tours, but I remember we opened for Burning Spear.
Serious?
Yes, SOBs, SOBs, Songs of Brazil in Manhattan, we did that.
Well, you opened for Burning Spear?
Opened for Burning Spear, that's right. Black Stallion, Roy Cape.
And Burning Spear was like...
big, that time young,
huge,
and yes, huge. So that was an experience, and it was really fantastic for me. After that, we moved on to, we went to Europe. The late and Sonny Blacks, he was the promoter. He died, I think, like 2 years ago, and brought us to Europe. We did Sweden. We did Helsinki. Beautiful, beautiful show.
Wow.
Where you see, sometimes totally Caucasian in the audience. And I don't know how they know, they might know the chorus, and they're singing Black Stallion on stage. Yes,
Serious?
Yes.
So that must have been a real
a beautiful
kind of culture
experience.
shock.
Yes.
Kind of, because I always tell people that, when you travel for the first time, I think sometimes you're shocked by the way that people accept the culture of the Caribbean.
Definitely. And Calypso was there because I remember they coming backstage to get interview, autograph and thing from Black Stallion, Roy Cape. Yeah. That was beautiful. Denise Plummer was on the the Europe tour also, the late Denise Plummer.
Yeah.
So she was on that tour also. It was beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, and Denise Plummer. Well, Denise Plummer, like yourself, was singing. She wasn't singing Calypso at the start of her career.
Right, she used to do, yes, that's right, Chaconia in and stuff. And then she came into the Calypso, one of the first songs from Bootsy Sharp and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And it was a beautiful thing. These are places that I'm not even sure if I'll be going back in my lifetime. And I give praise and thanks through Calypso. I've been there.
That's great.
Yes.
Well, I mean, let me tell you something, man. Back in the day there, traveling in the 80s and stuff, and this was always saying, we see in soca, you know, taking the world by storm.
Yeah,
kind of
we
way
did.
now, and these guys doing all kind of tours.
New
But
Orleans Jazz Festival.
look at that. I mean,
Yeah,
it was doing all of that long before. Yeah.
Long before. David Rudder was part of that jazz festival also.
Mm-hmm.
Black Stallion and the Roy Cape All Stars. Those were beautiful, beautiful times.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it is expanded. You know. You know they say. You know, I mean, it have a generation that's cut road for Gucci to run on.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You understand what I say? Because that is what it is. You feel like you feel like your generation have you know you all have got the admiration and respect and the acknowledgement from the other generations after you for the work that all you put in at the start.
Well, yes, because especially to 2026. 2025, 26. If you check back, I've seen a lot of the soca artists or calypsonians go back to the old times. Calypso.
Yeah, they're going back now and they're singing it over and that kind of thing. Yeah,
right. That's right. Because the calypsos, it always tell a story.
Yes.
Right. It was a story, and sometimes when you hear Stallion and they're singing this song, like you're actually seeing the story.
Mm-hmm.
So right, so it's not just I'm not putting down anybody, but there is something to relate to.
Yeah, it was. It's about storytelling.
Storytelling, that's right.
I was talking that on radio just yesterday and maybe last week we had Fireball on, and I was talking about calypso and the calypso now, as opposed to the calypso back in the 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah.
When calypso was you know, used to tell a story. It wasn't heavy political like what you're getting now.
Not now.
It was the music that we used to dance to. When you go in the party, you used to hear calypso.
Calypsonians
and that kind of thing. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was in a semi-finals in a Soca Monarch with a calypso.
Right.
They used to have calypsonians in Soca Monarch.
Correct.
In earlies, right?
Exactly.
Yes, and it was a raw calypso.
Yeah. I mean,
and the thing just changed. I mean,
it just changed. I don't know if maybe they need to revisit that. We're looking at Tuco with the upcoming elections in just a couple of weeks, and maybe a little not restructuring. But obviously, whatever board gets in there, I know Inslee is the current.
He's the current president at this point in time.
But I could see where they need to, because you have a whole generation. You have young brother and them singing calypso now.
Right.
You have Tizaya O'Connor.
Yes,
you have a lot of
young people.
You have Terry Lyons doing a thing.
That's right.
So I mean, they you know, I think from
that there's a lot of company that in that tent.
Yeah.
That people stop coming to the tent because you used to listen to radio,
right?
And you're hearing somebody's song,
right?
And you say, "Boy, I go into the tent to
hear that." Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Everything has changed.
I remember the days when Rio and them fellas and them when we no phone call.
No, exactly. So 5 and 6 encore until Bomber saying, if you call me, I ain't
Bomber,
coming back again.
If you call me, I ain't coming back again. You know what I mean?
From Pretender to Bomber, and then we go. You're right, exactly.
And you used to laugh.
Yes, exactly.
I remember Juke in the tent with freaking shrieking.
Oh my God. And it used to be more theater. It was theater too.
Yes.
I remember singing with SYB, Sparrow's Young Brigade, and he was always theater.
Right.
Remember when he come up with the gorilla suit?
Yeah, I remember seeing clips of that.
Cipriani, when he sings Cipriani, dressed like the statue.
Yeah.
You know, so it was theater, but things have changed.
Maybe there's something, you know, I mean, everything evolves over time.
That's right.
But I think Calypso is here to stay. Just yesterday I was talking that with...
It ain't going no way.
Calypso is the foundation.
Yes, and
people
it's our
forget
culture.
That.
It's part of our culture.
But it's also the foundation for other genres of music.
Exactly,
because
exactly.
When you're looking at, I always say this, when you're looking at these fellas and them in hip-hop, freestyle battle and all kind of thing, that come from extempo.
But Bob Marley had told you the strings when the
strings,
exactly,
yeah.
It's Calypso strings.
Calypso strings.
Yeah,
so I mean, Calypso is like the foundation for several genres of music, if not all.
That's right.
Maybe. It all embedded and it's rooted in Calypso.
And we have already made 100, a couple of years ago, 100, the first Calypso record.
Yes.
We've done made 100 already, 100 years.
And then there's this thing, you might be able to talk to this as well, just before we run out of time here, we get to the show and that kind of thing. I just wanted people to get a little insight into your history and your knowledge.
Yes.
You know, Harry Belafonte is kind of revered globally as the man that cut road for Calypso. But Harry Belafonte Calypso, in the Calypso that it isn't that is a whole different...
It's a different thing,
type
yes.
of thing.
And that again, I think is at the marketing aspect at that point in time.
At that point in time,
exactly.
yeah.
Because he did films.
Yes.
Although Calypso itself was in, and the Calypso was in films, movies and stuff.
Right.
So recently I was watching it and I never knew that, never saw that one, and I say, wow, and he was very young, singing Calypso.
Singing Calypso.
You understand?
You know?
Yeah, and those days too, used to in North America and maybe Europe and stuff, had the night spot where these people used to go and sing.
Right.
So they singing to the audience like how we were doing it here, singing the Calypso, and they used to Nat King Cole.
Nat King Cole and all of them, yeah.
Calypso.
Wow. You see what I mean? It have a whole history there, you know.
Yes, it's a
you see,
history.
people like Twiggy and them, they know the history, eh? They can give you the history.
Yes,
in terms of it, because I think we really underestimate and underrate.
Yeah, it's been there.
Everything is soca now. Everything is, you know.
It's the baby, eh?
It's but
it's
the baby of Calypso.
You can't show the mother. You can't dance the mother.
Exactly, because I mean everything is everybody. You know, even the radio stations, they're so focused on one part of the culture that they're not focusing on all aspects of the culture. It's a whole story. Is Calypso, is steel pan, is soca. You know what I mean? I remember when my father used to tell me, I think it's Third World, and they used to amplify, I think it's Third World Comedy, I think that was the first band to amplify pan in party and thing. You understand? And that was a big thing, that was the jam in the party.
Pan used to be in the party. Used to go in the party and enjoy the pan. So.
You understand? But now everything is just evolved into this one focus, this one aspect.
Here, like what you have there, they have it on the thing and everything, they have everything going one
Correct.
time. Technology.
So I mean, yeah, and all of that too, the way that the way that music is recorded and so on and so forth now.
And then we
is
have
very
AI
different.
now.
And then it have AI, it's on the AI aspect of it now. It's a whole different thing. I remember Crazy telling me long time. Crazy said, boy, when he recorded music long time, you had to go and strum, and it's a whole band. For you to now is, and then it went to computer.
Right, we used to like you do your thing here and you fly to Barbados to get the master and stuff, and you fly back the same day because they didn't. Yes, those what I did that. I went to Barbados, do my thing, and then come back to get it, to get it on the CDs and stuff, everything. But
there's a lot of work they put in,
evolving,
to put all that music,
everything. Yeah.
So Twiggy is looking at her 70th birthday and 50 years in Calypso show. She's going to have a number of her Kaiso friends there as well. Right. So any names you want to shoot out? Yeah, we have like Luther, first Young King and Queen. So I know I do like a journey. So Luther, first Young King and Queen. He was Young King, I was the first Queen. What's his name? Lennox Piku. Right from Lennox Piku, cut my bush. Right, yeah. Get up and dance. We go way back from in the night pubs. Okay, good. Right, nice. Telling the story, Lennox, because I took my friend. No, seriously, I took my friend one night at in South Key there to one of the shows in the nice pub, and next thing they fall in love. She and Lennox fall in love and got married. Yes. Wow. Yeah. All right, nice. So we stayed friends for all these years. Super. Great. I knew Super before he was even Super Blue. All right, I knew Super at the age of maybe 13, 14. Wow. So, and he was Austin. When I left Point 14 and came back to Port of Spain, we bounced up again for the first time at Sparrow's Hideaway when he came down to sing Soca Baptist to do audition. Yeah. So and we've been friends from since that. Terry, I knew me and Terry mom was like this. So I don't tell any mommy and she mommy belly. Right, nice. You know, so we stay friends. So of course, Super to be part of my show. My two children, Nefta, you know Nefta, she was here with you. Yes, she was here. Nefta Kojo and Lani K. Right, nice. So they here, they came. Lani K came in last night before, to sing on the show and stuff. So and then I have a special guest, surprise guest, Calypso for Africa. Now is the time. All right, brilliant. Right. So my idea was I'm the very first person who sing. And now is the time on the video. Yeah. So and a lot of people have passed from that video. A lot of them have passed. So what we did is,
who here, like Brother Valentino is going to be on stage.
Yeah.
Right, well, Bill, he going to be in the audience and stuff. But Rootsman's son, he is so excited to do his father's line. So we do a little group and we inculcate some of the youngsters to do Calypso for Africa.
I like that
now is the
vibes.
time. We're doing Calypso for TNT.
Now is the time. That was
the time for TNT.
That was our We Are the World, you know.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was our We Are the World.
That's right.
I remember that. I remember Juke and all them fellas and them.
Right,
and a lot of them ready pass, you know.
So we have others who doing the
Oh,
lines,
boy.
and this is the first time it's going to be done live.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the first time that is going to be done actually live.
Live.
Yes.
All right, brilliant.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, you're in for an evening of entertainment. People, a whole journey, a whole storytelling. It takes place
Yes.
on Sunday, July the 5th, 6 p.m. at Napa, Port of Spain.
Crow, I forget before next thing he'd come and tell me, I'm not coming. You understand?
Right.
I can't leave him out.
Right.
That's Midget had to be there. Because,
Midget is inside,
Yeah,
Coco inside. All right, so it's 50 years in Calypso with Twiggy and her Kaiso friends. Sunday, July the 5th, Napa, Port of Spain, 6 p.m. Tickets available at the Napa box office.
That's
All
right.
right, so you can head over to the Napa box office and get the tickets today. And you have a terrific evening on Sunday to go out to Napa and be entertained. Go get your tickets, go out and support and celebrate 70 years of life and 15 Calypso with Twiggy this Sunday. Nice, man. And with the cast that you have and that performance that you're talking about, and now is the time performance. I remember that growing up.
Yes,
I was a little boy. I was in Pampers, but I was a little boy. That's what I'm saying. I was younger, much younger. Right? I remember that. That was a big song.
Big
you know.
song, yeah.
That was big. And that has never been performed
Live, no.
live at all.
Nope, never.
Wow.
So when I called the original promoter of the song, he was so excited about that, as Gilman Figueroa.
Right.
He's also the promoter of Sunshine Awards in New York.
Okay.
Yes, so he is
All right,
very
brilliant.
excited about it.
So the show is on, people. The show is on. All right, so get your tickets, Napa box office. I got to take my final break, and then when I come back, I got some birthdays and stuff. Anything you want to add before I go to the break?
I give Jah thanks and praise for today and onwards. Hope you take me to another one.
Nice, yes.
Yes, I give thanks. I give thanks to my family, especially my husband, who is Morocco. Understand? And one more thing I want to say to the family of Oscar B. Condolences.
Oscar B, who passed away this week.
Yes.
Condolences to the family again, and he will be missed.
And the Soca and Calypso fraternity.
Yeah, man. He was a good one, real young too.
Yeah, that's my boy. That was my boy.
And people forget how big Oscar was, Oscar is Byron Lee and Dragonaires.
I'm telling you, he did some.
Oscar real toy, and he never leave the ground, When I say, always a down-to-earth, grounded fella, very approachable.
That's right.
You could have walk up to him, talk to him, he was real cool.
A big smile.
Oh, yeah. So, I know, well, he on his journey now.
That's
but
right.
I tell you what, man, he will entertain up there as well. Make no mistake about that. So we take the final break, we come back with the birthdays. Don't go anywhere, people. We'll be back after this.
Thank you.
Get your tickets.
Prendella's in the East, Disney, right? Prendella's Fashion, right? And I will say Atlees and this on the flyer, Atlees and the
Atlees, all right, no problem.
Yeah, St. James, Crosby's.
Crosby's and St. James
That's
as well.
right, yes.
All right, so you can go to Crosby's and St. James as well. We'll be back after this.
Eden Heights Clinic is one of the most advanced state-of-the-art alternative clinics in the Caribbean. They offer a dynamic combination of life-changing treatments, including prolozone therapy, live blood analysis, halotherapy, limb bagging, nutritional programs, colon hydrotherapy, weight loss programs, oxygen baths, and more. Their professional doctors, Drs. Carlos Navarro, Bronwyn Navarro, and Brian Thompson provide consultation services in areas of diabetes detox programs, arthritis, sports injuries, heart disease, high blood pressure, persons suffering with knee, shoulder, and back pain. At Eden Heights Clinic, they understand that your health is your wealth. get in touch with them to determine which service is the right choice for you. Visit them at any one of their 3 locations at 13 Montague Avenue, Twin City, at 41 Ramsaran Street, Shoguanas, or give them a call at 640-8985 or 613-7571, or send them a WhatsApp to 493-9196. Eden Heights Clinic is your right choice.
Welcome to Caribbean Tourist Villa, your home away from home in the heart of Port of Spain. With over 25 years of trusted hospitality, Caribbean Tourist Villa has been a reliable choice for both business professionals and vacationers. Our guest rooms are thoughtfully equipped with all the essentials for a relaxing and productive stay, and our tranquil pool area is perfect for relaxation after a busy day. We've created the ideal space for you to relax, recharge, and enjoy. Give us a call to book your stay today.
Master Ganesh Bhargav offers powerful guidance for all kinds of life problems, doubts, confusion, protection needs, and clarity. His astrology practice comes from a powerful ancestral tribal lineage with over 500 years of astrological and spiritual practice. Bhargav Ji does not dominate or pressure clients. Instead, he focuses on fixing problems with care and balance. His reunion love spells and death reversal spells are designed to restore harmony and provide lifetime protection. This is not individual effort alone, but collective spiritual power working for you. Many clients notice strong positive changes within a few sessions. Call +1 868 347 2350.
Welcome to Car City Trading, your #1 supplier of brand new Korean auto parts. Come on down to lot number 78, Bamboo Settlement number 2, Valsayn, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday to Friday and 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday to get your Hyundai and Kia vehicular needs. Car City Trading has everything your vehicle needs, from a brand new head and blocks to engine parts, transmissions, suspension parts, body parts, electrical parts, braking system, AC system, even the smallest sensor, and much more. WhatsApp us today at 704-2246 or call us at 645-2603 and let us be your car parts solution. Be sure to find us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and look out for our monthly deals and promotions. Car City Trading, quality products at unbeatable prices.
If you're planning an event, make us your first option. At Reality of a Dream, we can make your event memorable. We can assist in planning your corporate functions, moderate gatherings, family occasions, christenings, and more. We also cater for weddings and other special occasions. Our newly renovated venue includes a majestic entryway, which takes you along a path to a fantastic indoor facility which can accommodate up to 80 dining guests. A recently completed, fully air-conditioned, beautifully designed wing, which maintains the theme and flow of Reality of a Dream, adds 30 extra seats for dining guests. In total, we can now seat a total of 110 dining guests. Come see for yourself the splendor that awaits you. Walk along the path and make your way to the breathtaking, well-maintained swimming pool and gazebo, and also the entire grounds of Reality of a Dream. We've also updated the Dream Suite, which comes with all modern conveniences, where guests can enjoy the feeling of an exquisite retreat overlooking the entire area. Reality of a Dream caters to professional events. We provide secured parking for guests, so call us at 332-6880 and ask for Harriet, located at number 15 Moses Avenue, San Juan. Reality of a Dream, making dreams come true every day.
Greetings to you all in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior, the sweet Rose of Sharon and the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. I am Ezekiel Johnson Fort, and I am pleasured to inform you of the newest branch of the Christian Union Church, Trinidad and Grenada District, San Juan Revival Ministries. If you are desiring prayer, healing, or that closer connection to the Heavenly Father, then the place to be is at San Juan Revival Ministries. And allow me to ask you one question. Are you living a life without Jesus Christ? Do you desire freedom from spiritual bondage? Then the only solution to your problem is Him. In the book of Matthew chapter 11 and verses 28, it says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And this is mostly speaking to those of you who are Christians and you might not have a place to fellowship. Come. Fellowship with us at the Christian Union Church, San Juan Revival Ministries. Come, be edified and equipped by the Word of God, preached by the man of God, Senior Reverend Bishop Dave Donation. You will be empowered by the move of the Holy Spirit of the living God. Come and be comforted. If you desire to be an environment that shows compassion and care for your spiritual needs, growth and development, then fellowship with us at number 1 Bagatelle Corner, Saddle Road, every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. I look forward to seeing you there, and God bless you all, and may the peace of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ be with you now and always. God bless you all.
All right, people, so we're back, and as we return, we just got some birthdays and we're out. So let me get to those one time. The one I said no come, yes? All right. Happy birthday going out to Zena of Zena's Variety Store. She celebrates her birthday today, the 2nd of July. And we want to say happy birthday to you from Breaking Dawn and, of course, Synergy TV. Very special birthday greetings. Zena has been a client of Synergy TV, and, of course, she has supported Breaking Dawn, throughout. And we want to say thanks and happy birthday to you, and enjoy your day today. All right? Treat yourself. Also, we got to say happy birthday going out to Geraldine Danielle from her children and her grandchildren and her sister Paulina and her nieces Marissa and Maya. All right, so happy birthday going out to you, Geraldine. Then we have to say happy 40th anniversary to Knox and Liz. Love always from your children and grandchildren in New York and New Jersey. All right, so happy birthday, happy anniversary to Knox and Liz. 48 years, boy. Also, would it be possible for you to give a shout out? All right, so we got to say happy birthday going out to Dio Prasad, Harry Prasad. All right, happy birthday to you, my brother. He watches the program every morning, and wishes coming from your family. They say happy birthday and enjoy your day, man. Have a good one. And finally, let me just get the name here. Happy birthday going out to William Sammy. William Sammy, happy birthday to you. And lots of love coming down from all of your loved ones, your family, everybody. They say happy birthday and enjoy your day, man. And judging by the bottle in front of you there, American honey, man. All right, good. Easy. All right. Well, we know, I know that's not a honey bottle. Well, all right, so I tell you what, we got to wrap things up for today. We are out until tomorrow. have a great day. Chef will be in studio tomorrow. We do have Mr. Sam Sanka. And they're going to come, something from the agricultural sector that they're coming to talk about. And I also have a young man who is an athlete. He's doing tremendously well in terms of off-road biking and things like that. He'll be in to talk as well because he's doing extremely well in that. So look out for all of that tomorrow. Until then, have a great day. We are out. Goodbye.